Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here and welcome to episode 4 of my Athletic Bilbao series for Football Manager 2019. So as you can see by the league table on the left here, we are currently in second position. We did lose out on the title to Real Madrid. They've already won the league there. It's unfortunate to mention that we did have a bit of a slump towards the mid-section of the season, and due to that, obviously, the dream was crushed, and we sort of choked it a little bit because we went 6 games without a win, and that definitely cost us the league title here. Overall, I would say second place, where we're currently sitting, is a very, very respectable league finish. But of course, if we do lose today to Real Sociedad, we could potentially drop down to 4th. We have also managed to seal Champions League football for next season, so that's a definite positive for the whole of the season. Another thing to mention, as you can see over here, we'll go into the finances. The finances are a little bit shaky at the moment. I'm not too sure why that is with the club, because obviously at the start of the game we sort of had about 24 million, I think it was, and now we're down to 13 million in the bank. Just a lot of expenditure, a lot of player wages, of course, are the main drawback there. Of course, essentially spending 900,000 per week on wages. So yeah, let's have a look at the fixtures, and then we'll go over some youth intakes that we did get, because of course youth intakes and youth players and regens are going to predominantly be the main source of players that we get for the series, it being Basque only. So yeah, let's go back to the last game, which was against Real Madrid. Of course, the 1-0 loss with that Gareth Bale ricochet goal in the 3rd minute. We then followed that up with a disappointing draw, 2-2 against Espanyol. Munain and Villalibre getting our goals in this game, but again, not the type of result we really needed after that loss. Another thing to mention is Villalibre sort of, from this point onwards, became a somewhat vital striker for us. He scored quite a few goals, and he definitely impressed me, so I'm kind of glad that we sold I've forgotten what his name is, but the 38-year-old, well, 37-year-old striker. So yeah, not a great result there. We followed that with a victory, though. We did get revenge on Celta Vigo, who did give us our first loss earlier in the season. And as you can see, Villalibre again on the score sheet there. So that's a nice positive result. That was also followed up against Sevilla with a disappointing 0-0 draw. Not too much to say about this game. I think at this time they were like 15th in the table, so they weren't doing too well, and it was pretty disappointing to not manage to score against them there. We then managed to beat Valencia 2-0. Inaki Williams and Isa Villalibre once again on the score sheet, and a pretty good home victory there. I think Valencia sort of recovered their season towards the middle section, or the middle end of the season here, and I think they were in 6th place going into that game, I believe. So they were doing really well. I think they're still sort of around that. We'll check the ladder, or that's the table, in a second. We followed that up with another victory at home, 2-1 over Valladolid. San Jose, Munain on the score sheet there, and their goal was a very, very late consolation in the 95th minute. A 3-1 victory over Getafe followed that game, with Martinez and Villalibre with a brace. As you can see, Villalibre was somewhat lethal for us. I would say he was pretty lethal. I think in his first 4 games he scored 3 and 4, something like that. However, after this Getafe game was when our poor run of fixtures, our dip, we'll call it a dip, our dip happened. The first of which was a 1-1 draw against Rayo Vallecano. San Jose getting a penalty. They got another penalty back, and Hervias got sent off towards the end of the game. The next game was against Huesca. Very, very disappointing draw here. If I remember correctly, we absolutely dominated them. Yeah, as you can see here. Not only did we miss a penalty, but we had 21 shots with 6 on target, and we could not score a goal, and they had no shots at all. It's really disappointing to actually draw that game and not manage to find the back of the net, to be honest. We then had a massive game. I think at this point, Atletico Madrid was second, and I think they were 1 point behind us, and we were first. And then we went into this game. I was kind of thinking about doing an episode for this game in particular, just because it was pretty important. And I'm kind of glad I didn't because of the way things have sort of played out. But they beat us 3-1 here. Villalibre with a goal for us. He did get an equaliser after a Iteraspe own goal. Costa and Party on the score sheet for them as well. And kind of the first real game that we kind of got destroyed, more or less. We were pretty poor in this game, and they definitely punished us. We then followed that up with a disappointing 0-0 draw again, not finding the score sheet, and yeah. But by this time, things were starting to slip away a little bit. And of course, we had to verse Barcelona in the next game in Camp Nou, and of course, we did lose this game. 1-0. Rakitic getting the only goal of the game there. And probably the game I'm most frustrated about losing. Leganes. We lost this game at home 3-2, or 2-3 if you want to be specific about things. But yeah, we lost this game in such disappointing fashion. Honestly, we opened the scoring, gave away a penalty, took the lead again 2-1, and then just before half-time they managed to get the equaliser. Second half, we basically just threw it away completely, and they got the winning goal there. At this point, we actually went through not a takeover, what is it called? Elections? Yeah, the club went through elections to elect a new, I guess, chairman. And after it happened, my job security that was like pretty much full, it was just over probably 3/4 full. It dropped all the way down to 1/4. And the next message I got was that I could possibly be sacked. And I was like, what the hell is happening? Like, obviously, my expectations for the season, the board expectations of the season were to make Europa League football top 6 finish in the league. We've secured Champions League football already by this point. I was kind of like, what is happening? But yeah, anyway, the next game, which could have been me getting sacked, I guess. I don't know. That might be a glitch in the game. I'm not too sure, but we managed to win this game anyway to take the pressure off me. 2-1 away from home against Levante. Inaki Williams and Pablo Hervias getting our 2 goals there. San Jose also getting sent off. So yeah, it was a little bit nerve-wracking, and of course they got a goal in the 92nd minute as well, which definitely put the pressure on me. And of course the final game was a nice little 2-0 victory over Real Betis with Munain and Iteraspe on the score sheet. I actually want to show you Iteraspe's goal. It was quality. He took a shot, was blocked by the defender, and then it ricocheted right back to him, and he just blasted it. Absolutely blasted it in the lower corner. Spoilers, of course. I probably just ruined the goal for you. It was a nice little move. I don't know what Villalibre was doing there by kicking it all the way out. But yeah, a couple of block shots here, and then a volley on the rebound from Iteraspe. Beautiful goal. So yeah, that leaves us today with our arch rivals, Real Sociedad. Of course, they're in the Basque region as well, and they're definitely the biggest. I would say they're probably the biggest game for Athletic Bilbao in regards to derbies, because they do have some other derbies against Osasuna and Deportivo Alaves, and of course Real Madrid and Barcelona historically. But this is the massive game, and I'm pretty glad that it's the last game of the season. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I won't go into it yet because I forgot to go over the youth players, but yeah, they were really low down for a lot of the season, Sociedad. They're mid-table now, are in ninth, but a lot of the season they were sort of around this position down here from like 15th to maybe 17th. But they did come back a little bit. And funny story, our B team actually saved them from getting relegated a couple of games ago in the Spanish second division, which is the third tier. But yeah, so yeah, one other thing I wanted to go over is the under-19s, because we did get our youth intake, and we got a couple of regens that are pretty good. The first off, this guy, Garmienda, or Garmendia. Alright, I've got to get my pronunciations right. Garmendia was the pick of the bunch, and he is touted to be one of the best of his generation. Of course, that comes up every now and then. You don't know if it's going to actually happen. But he does look pretty good. He's got some good stats where it counts, and then he's got 6 heading for a centre-back, which I really don't like. But apart from that, he's either-footed as well, 188 centimetres, so despite his lack of heading ability, his strength and his jumping reach definitely are positives to go along with his height. Positioning as well, a little bit low. 4-star potential there, 2-star current ability. You might get a little bit of game time next season. We'll see how things go. Of course, a lot of our loan players are going to be coming back into the fray, so we'll see how things go. The next player is Barbero, just a goalkeeper, 3-star potential. I kind of just wanted to sign him because sometimes goalkeepers can be hard to come by. Of course, you can only sign the Basque players or Spanish regens that are 16 years and younger, so having a goalkeeper that is Basque or is 16 and under is often a tricky thing to find. Let's say that. Of course, both of our goalkeepers are very young, so that's a big positive. But always good to just sign the guys, even if you don't think they're gonna progress into a first-team player, just to have them around with the possibility that it might one day happen. And Jimenez was the final player. He looks, on first glance, I didn't really pay too much attention to him, and I was contemplating even not signing him. But he's definitely improving, and he looks very good as far as potential. With 3.5-star potential, 1-star current ability, which is interesting to see. He did have 6 pace, so I'm glad that's already started to go up. But yeah, just a nice little striker prospect. He could probably play right wing if he does get that pace up a little bit. So yeah, that was a youth intake. I have been scouting all the other teams for their intakes as well, just to try and pick out the best 16-year-old players or the best 15-year-old players as well. We might bring a few of them in next season, but again, we'll just have to wait and see. There are a few that I'm keeping my eye on. Of course, Barcelona and Real Madrid did get a couple of really good ones that for some reason, I think one of them is already on 8,500 per week at Real Madrid. So yeah, we're not going to be able to sign that guy at the moment, or ever, probably, but that's fine. Anyway, so let's go into today's lineup for the massive game against Sociedad, the big derby. We've got Ramiro in goal, Kappa at right back, Yere and Martinez. Martinez has been really disappointing this season. He's made a lot of mistakes and just had some really just horrible games, to be honest. Like, I don't know. Like, he's just had, every other game seems to be like a 6.3 or a 6, and then he'll go back up to a 6.9, and yeah, I don't know. Definitely doesn't really warrant the 155k per week wage that he has. But yeah, he'll be starting today because San Jose. Actually, will he start today? You know what? I'm not going to start him. He can sit on the bench. Yeah, let's do that. I'm happy with that. So San Jose and Yere will be our centre-back pairing. Yuri at left-back. Itaraspe at defensive midfielder. Garcia and Munain. Munain's played a little bit at advanced playmaker. He's played probably about 5 games there, and he's done pretty well considering he's actually a natural centre mid, but I don't know. I feel like it just accommodates everybody a little bit more. Benat's actually got an injury at the moment for 4 weeks, so let's just give it a crack. It's the last game of the season. Doesn't really matter too much because top 4 is Champions League, of course, like I mentioned before, and you go straight into the group stage anyway. So there's that. So today doesn't really matter. Of course, I would like to win and get second place. I think that would be an amazing achievement for the first season. My first season on FM19 as well, which is pretty good. So yeah, Sociedad and Williams will be our 2 wingers. Of course, Williams will play that inside forward role on the left. Not very familiar with it, but we're just going to give it a crack. He's scored a couple of goals out there when Munain's been injured, and of course when he has played the role he's playing today. And we're going to go with Villalibre up front. And I'll just show you Villalibre. He's developing nicely. I mean, he's nothing too special. But as you can see, pressing forward is now his natural role, whereas before it actually wasn't. And he was just a poacher. So I'm really happy about that he's now natural in the position. And of course his stats they're increasing, and they have done so throughout his pretty impressive performances that he's had so far this season. So yeah, he's going to start up front today, and I'm pretty happy with him and how he's sort of progressed into the first team. Alright, so let's get into the team talk. I was going to say that the fans have been fantastic this season. They probably have been. I'm pretty sure the Bilbao fans are very passionate about their team. Another thing to mention is that we have had a couple of games where the possession, I'm not sure if it's a possession against possession tactic, but there were a couple of games in our bad run of form where, is that a red card? It is too. Oh god. Mendy, isn't he Basque? I think he's Basque. I might have to have a look at him. Of course, I think he played for Real Madrid for a little bit. Maybe 2 years ago or so. But yes, I've completely forgotten what I was talking about. And it's probably not going to come back to me before the end of the episode. Itaraspe, nice little possession tactics. That's what I was talking about. Yeah, so I think against another possession tactic, the Villalibre with a nice little header there. This is what I'm talking about. He's scored a lot of goals this season. But yeah, the possession tactics against each other, I feel like they definitely cancel each other out. And I feel like once that's been happening, we have sort of been coming out the worse, on the worse side, as Yuri fires in a free kick there. So I'm not too sure. Maybe it was just a bad form, and I'm not even talking about the right thing there. But the possession was like 52 to 48%, and yeah, I don't know. The tactic just wasn't working, and I didn't tweak it, and I probably should have. But it's also come good now, so yeah, I'm just going to tell the boys I'm happy with the performance so far. Nice little lead over our arch rivals, who've only had one shot on target. But yeah, I'm definitely enjoying being back in the Football Manager community, and I'm just happy that people are enjoying the content that I'm putting out so far. If you are, guys, please subscribe. Ooh, as we hit the post there. Yeah, I've mentioned it in previous episodes, but I'm going for 1k subscribers. It's been a massive goal of mine for a long time, and I would definitely appreciate it. And it also would keep you up to date with the future content coming out if you hit the notification bell. And if you give this video a like as well for a great first season, that'd also be much appreciated. As we recycle the ball from a corner. Sociedad to Kappa. Interesting little possession Ooh, another post hit. Come on. Alright, we might make a sub here. Who's not performing? Inaki Williams. Okay, you can come off. Very, very inconsistent, that guy. Probably because he's not familiar with the role that he's playing today. He hasn't played there too much, but I apologise if you can hear my dog in the background. Is that going to be a red card as well? Please don't tell me it's a red card. It is. Oh my god. Okay, well, that's not what I was expecting. We'll just bring Lopez on, I guess. Actually, do we need to? I guess we can just have no right winger. Usually I'd probably bring off the defensive mid in this sort of position once we go down a man, but I don't know. I guess we can just play it out. Maybe put Villalibre over to this side more. Yeah, I think we'll just do that. That looks alright. Yeah. I'm very happy with how this first season's gone, and I hope you guys are too. Of course, first saves on a new game is definitely a hard thing to sometimes take, or undertake, I guess, would be the right way to put it. As we're approaching the end of the game here, still 1-0 up against Real Sociedad, and I'm very happy, definitely. And yeah, just excited to get cracking, really, and make sure that, you know, I put out a decent amount of episodes and keep it consistent. Oh, and we just hold on there. Great saves by Ramiro. Danny Garcia gives the ball away cheaply. Yanazai's in behind. Willie score. Oh, what a block. Oh my goodness. That was crazy. Yeah, that does look like at the end of the game. We've got about 30 seconds left. And sometimes you just wish the referee would call it. Yuri here. Gets a throw in. Hervias. Can we get another goal? Muniain. Oh, it's a good save by their keeper. Another corner. There we go. Full time. 1-0 victory to end the season off. 2 red cards in the derby as well. Nice little fiery occasion. I was going to tell the boys it was a nice victory. It's always good to get one over you, right? Actually, we did the double over them this season. Yeah, we managed to beat them in both games. As you can see there, that's the final results. We did manage to get that second place, which is awesome to see. I'm very happy that we actually managed to get that. Because obviously, finishing second or finishing fourth, you'd much rather finish second. I know I would personally anyway, but yeah, happy days. So yeah, guys, that's going to be it for this episode. I hope you have enjoyed. First season, done and dusted. Move on to bigger and better things. Hopefully sign a few little regens going into next season. I hope you'll join me for episode 5, which will be, of course, the pre-season review and, of course, the first game of the season. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Drop the video a like, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.